So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to break up with a narcissistic person. So I recently had a client who wanted to break up with her narcissistic husband who was having an affair. And her friends had all Googled and were like, well, this is what the experts advise. First thing, you must do it in public. You must prepare for the battle. You must speak your truth, tell him he's abusive, set boundaries, limit contact. And yeah, I mean, I think if you Google how to break up with a narcissist, they have very, very strict things like that are out there. But in practice, these techniques don't necessarily work well if you actually need anything from that person that you're breaking up with. So in her particular position, where you're financially dependent on the person or you need to continue to co-parent with that person, any essence where you are ultimately slightly dependent on that person and this breakup going well, that strategy is going to be a disaster. And my client, you know, in her position, she was financially dependent on her narcissistic husband and she needed to continue co-parenting. So although, you know, we understood the principles of what you should do, don't put a narcissist into a corner. Okay, so if you do that, it's a very, very dangerous opponent. They start to then really come out guns blazing. So you've got to understand the psychology of a narcissist. They like to look good. They care massively what everybody thinks about them. And they want everybody to think they're generous and kind. And if they had an affair, well, it's because they felt pushed into getting their needs met elsewhere, or you were cold, or they're not going to take responsibility, and they don't really want to hear your truth or are even slightly interested in your version of events. They want people to think that whatever they did, they acted with honor and that what they did was a good thing. Now, this is a huge weakness, and you can use that weakness against a narcissist. So if you challenge them and you are trying to be righteous and tell the world what they've done, they're going to see that as a huge sign of aggression and they will fight you to the death. But they melt if they perceive you as being weak or sad or like they need to take care of you, because then that kicks in their gracious, magnanimous nature. So I told her to say the following, and it actually worked beautifully. So the way she initiated the divorce, she just said, look, you know, we've been married for a long time and, you know, we've had our ups and downs, but I really feel like I think we should let each other go. And allow me to finish. I actually know all about Tanya, and I know that you've been seeing her, and I want to say before you get upset about it that I really understand how that all happened. You know, our relationship hasn't been happy for a while, and although I think I became a bit depressed and resigned, I can understand that you chose to get your needs met elsewhere. I'm saddened that we didn't talk about it, but I really get why you did what you did. And at the end of the day, I don't want drama. You don't want drama. I want you to be happy, and I want to find a way to be happy too, and I think we should let each other go. And I think you'll probably be happier with her, and I think if I get some therapy and sort myself out, I probably think I'll be happy too. And we brought some beautiful kids into this world, and I think to really honor our relationship and honor our parting, I want to do so as friends. I think we can all be friends. You know, I'm kind of terrified of the future, and I'm really hoping that you can look out for me and, you know, that we can be okay, and like financially I'm going to be all right. And this strategy was brilliant because he had a bridge. He wasn't cornered. He was built a bridge out of his situation. He was given a very clear kind of backstory about like how, you know, it's a mutual thing. He was going to look good off the back of that. He had an opportunity to be gracious, to be magnanimous, to like look after her, and they love that kind of, you know, the pride associated with that. And friends, narcissists love it when you're not their enemy, you continue to be their fan, because they really only have fans and enemies. So if you continue to be their friend and like, oh, let's just all be friends, if you even slightly suggest that like we can all just hang out and it'll be great, it is actually a really powerful strategy. And by making herself the weaker party, Of course, psychologically, we had to build her up to the place to play this game. But her financial settlement was completely extraordinary because she let him lead the process. She let him think that he was the winner in the whole thing. And she played the game like a dumb fox. In other words, she occurred very, very complacent, but she was actually ahead of him the whole time. It was only really when the ink had dried and the money was transferred did she actually acknowledge her real truth. And she decided to actually tell him what she really thought of him. But look, we're not trying to win prizes for righteousness or feminism or anything like that. I mean, I consider myself to be a huge feminist, and I would, my mother taught me well. I think in the game of divorce, you can be right, or you can get the results that you're looking for. And I think if your mission is to prove that that person did wrong and you're educating them and the world on what they did, yeah, great, go for it. You're probably going to be really poor and your divorce is going to run into like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's going to be full of acrimony, and you're going to end up on the other side of a battle with a narcissist. Or you can be smart, you can be strategic, and you can focus on timing, because being righteous has a cost attached to it. If you play smart, you will have a better strategy overall and achieve what it is that you're looking to achieve out of it. So consider something like the Divorce Strategy Mastery Program that helps strategize ways to break up with a narcissist. And don't just follow the dumb stuff that you read on Google, because it's written by people that are fueled by a quest of justice, or they're fueled by righteousness. Narcissism is wrong and it's toxic and this is the right way and you must speak your truth. And yeah, great. But if you're dependent on that person in any way, this strategy is going to be a complete disaster. So being smart enough and maneuverable enough to play different strategies and to see this more like game theory is going to empower you in the best way possible to get the result that you're actually seeking. So to find out more, book a clarity call on one of our websites. But more videos like this, more tips and suggestions like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button on our channel.